Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. We have a very full house. There is 130 people already live on the webinar. There's still people joining in. We're here. So everyone's on this webinar for one reason. There's one thing in common with every single person attending this webinar, and that is that all of you are on selling subscriptions on Shopify and you haven't yet migrated to Shopify Checkout for subscriptions. And I know probably a lot of people have just put it off because that's human nature, where we put things off to the last minute. And there is, as you know, I think probably we've tried to message it everywhere. There is a deadline approaching, October 18th, and we want to make sure that everyone is well prepared and done well ahead of the 18th, because after October 18th, subscriptions will no longer process if you haven't moved to Shopify Checkout. And we're going to get into some of the details on that. I would say if I have a goal of this webinar, it is two things. One, that every single person watching realizes that it's not that hard. Chasen will go over some of the details, but actually we were looking at it yesterday, and an average migration takes less than an hour and a half. We can do them very quick. Now, there's more to it. I don't want to oversimplify it, but like there's some prep and some things, but the actual migration itself is very quick. It's easy. There's no interruption to subscriptions, and we'll talk more about this, but that's one goal, that people come out of this going, they're not scared. Because I've talked to merchants and they, I don't even know where to begin with migrations. It's not scary. And we hold your hand through it. Us and Shopify are both here to support. So that's one goal. And my other goal is that every single person who watches this schedules their migration. And you're going to see, I think starting on all the next slide and all going forward, is we have a QR code down at the bottom of every single slide. You can scan that and schedule your migration. You don't have to do it during this webinar. We'll also send out the links to everyone, but it's important to get it scheduled. So those are my two main goals. So, okay, let's do just a quick highlight what we're going to cover today. We'll do some intros and then we'll get started. I noticed, sorry, one quick housekeeping thing. Someone's got their hand raised. I'm just going to put it down. So questions are, of course, welcome. Put any questions you want in the chat and we will try to address them, or you can also put them in the Q&A section. We have a couple other people who you'll see on the webinar who have their cameras off. They're here to support answering questions, so I don't have to stop and answer a question and then keep talking. So feel free to put any questions in there. We will try to get to all of them. And then some broader ones that might affect everyone. We have a Q&A section at the end, and feel free to use the chat or the Q&A one. It's both fine, either one. So what we are going to cover today, though, is Jessica from Shopify is going to take us through why this migration is happening, why move to Shopify Checkout, why just kind of some of the background behind it. I'm going to talk about some of the new exciting features, actually, about the new version of Bold subscriptions, because I think there's actually a lot to be excited about. And then Chasen is going to take you through exactly what to expect during the migration. So before we jump into it, really quick, sorry, get my mouse back on this side here. We should introduce who is our panelists. I'll go first and then just pass it around. I'm one of the co-founders of Bold. I work a lot with our subscription brands, speak at subscription conferences. I subscribe to everything possible. And so that's me. Jess, why don't we just go through left to right here?
Amazing. Thanks, Jay. Well, I'll just start off by saying I'm so excited to be here today. I'm Jess. I work at Shopify and I support our subscriptions team from a product marketing standpoint. Similar to Jay, I subscribe to everything. So yeah, happy to be here. I'll pass it off to Chanel.
Hi everyone, Chanel, product lead on subscriptions at Shopify. I've been at Shopify for almost 5 years. I work closely with our subscription partners in Bold, and I'm so glad to be here today. And hopefully, we can answer all of your questions and simplify migrations and the process as much as possible.
Hi, my name is Jason. I'm the migrations lead here at Bold. I've been doing this for just about 2 years now. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to kick it over to get us started to Jess.
Amazing. Thanks, Jay. So I thought it'd be helpful just to take a brief moment and provide a bit of context on how this migration with Bold actually started over 3.5 years ago. So back in 2020, we opened up a really exciting opportunity for all our subscription partners to integrate their subscriptions app directly into Shopify Admin and Shopify Checkout. And so around that time, we also kicked off an effort to help Shopify merchants on the legacy version of Bold, so subscriptions V1, migrate over to the checkout integrated version, so known as Bold subscriptions for Shopify Checkout. And since then, we have been working with thousands of merchants and partnering with Bold to migrate merchants from the legacy version of their app over to Bold subscriptions for Shopify Checkout. This brings us to today. So as Jay mentioned, and as you may know, any subscriptions app that's not integrated with Shopify Checkout will no longer function after October 18th, 2024. And I just really want to highlight that this is a strict deadline that we're all working towards. And this means that the V1 Bold subscriptions app that likely you're currently using will no longer be able to accept or process subscription orders after this date. And so I presume many of you had joined this webinar today because maybe you haven't started the process yet, maybe you've started but have some questions. And that's really why we wanted to host this session, to share more details on why you should migrate, and then to really at the end highlight any sort of key considerations that you should start thinking about. So in the past, subscription apps were separate from Shopify. So you can see this being represented in the visual on your screen. And this means that as a merchant, you are choosing between selling subscription products and using Shopify's checkout. And in this case, you're managing multiple checkout experiences to support subscriptions and one-time purchases. But if we jump to today, now, since Bold subscriptions for Shopify Checkout is directly integrated with Shopify Admin and Shopify's Checkout, it means that all your subscription orders will be processed through Shopify's Checkout and can really be managed in one place. So you can see the middle part there, including shipping, payments, and more. So I know you're asking yourself, why migrate to Bold subscriptions for Shopify Checkout? And I want to provide more clarity on the power of Shopify Checkout and some of the exclusive features that you'll get access to. So one of the really great things about Bold subscriptions for Shopify Checkout is that you benefit from the best converting checkout with Shop Pay and get access to exclusive subscription features. So for instance, with Shop Pay, your customers experience an express checkout, which will help you increase conversion. Then looking at truly the power of Shopify Checkout, it's trusted by millions of customers around the globe and really simplifies the buying process. So whether your customers are making a one-time or subscription purchase, it's all streamlined into one checkout experience. And then lastly, the Bold subscriptions for Shopify Checkout app is the version that we're going to continue to invest in and maintain, which means it comes with exclusive features that may not be available to you now. And Jay is going to speak more to these in detail. So with that, Jay, I'll pass it off to you.
Yeah, and I just want to real quickly say that like we've seen a lot of merchants, they've moved to the new version with Shopify Checkout and seen huge increases in subscription conversion. Shop Pay is, of course, a huge driving factor to that. There's, I don't know, what is it now, Jess? 150 million-ish stores that are, sorry, customers that have an active?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. So, probably everyone watching probably has a Shop Pay account. It just allows a streamlined purchase experience. So that now works with subscriptions as well too, plus everything else that happens in the checkout. So sometimes people are upselling after checkout, and all this, the new checkout extensions, so that all works as well too. So now on top of that, I want to be clear about, this is a question that comes up a lot, is we call it version 2. It's not actually like a upgraded version, like when you're just upgrading something. It's actually a completely different subscription app. It is V2 in the sense that it's new and it works with Shopify Checkout, but it's not like the exact same app that just now works with Shopify Checkout. And so in a lot of ways, it's actually, it's a far superior app. It is different. It has a little bit of a different UI, and like I don't want to mislead anyone and say that it's exactly the same. There's maybe a little bit of a learning curve, but it's very, like, our team walks everyone through it. It works it has a similar logic, the way things work. We call things subscription groups. Things are pretty similar, but the layout is a little bit different. It is a different app. But one of the big things that's different about it is we've built in what we call maximizers. And so this is something, I just want to spend a little bit of time and show some of the things that you'll have access to now on the new version. And these are actively being developed as we speak. So like if you're using version 1, you've probably noticed there hasn't been a new feature in it for years. And that's because we aren't developing anything on version 1. It's all in the new one now. So you're going to start getting all these new exciting features, the ones I'm talking about now, but all the new ones coming as well too. So maximizers are the new version of Bold subscriptions. Our goal with it is to make it the highest converting and subscription maximizing app, period. And so what that means is we want to convert more one-time shoppers into subscribers than ever before possible, and maximize the value of every subscriber once they're subscribed. Because as you know, everyone watching here, your acquisition cost to acquire customers has probably gone up 30-40% in the last couple of years. Customer acquisition cost is the highest it's ever been. It's very hard to get subscribers, and I always tell brands, when you get a subscriber, you don't just have a customer, you have a lead, and now it's your job to sell them on the value of your subscription and keep them subscribed, but B, also increase the value of them over time. And so that's one of our key driving factors when we think about features. So a few of the maximizers that I wanted to highlight, one of the things that you get out of the box is what we call subscription upsells. And these can convert anywhere from 5 to 15% more one-time shoppers into subscribers. And so the way it works is when a customer, actually there's a video on here, when a customer adds a one-time product to the cart, a subscription upsell offer comes up, reminding them how much they can save if they subscribe. They can pause, skip, cancel anytime. And it's just a friendly reminder when someone buys something as a one-time order that they could save 20% if they subscribe. Simple thing, but it works and it converts more subscribers. The next thing that is very exciting is what we call express add-ons. Express add-ons give the ability, imagine if any of your subscribers shopping on your store could buy anything without having to go through checkout. So because someone is a subscriber, we have all of their information. We have their address, we have their credit card information. So there's no need for them to go through checkout again. So what express add-ons do is they put a little widget on each product saying, want to buy this product, add it to my next upcoming subscription, and it's just a click. Or they can add it if the product has a subscription option on it. You can add it to the subscription ongoing forever as well too. So they can be one-time add-ons or subscription add-ons. And you've probably all heard the data points that, it's it costs 5 times less to sell to an existing customer than to acquire a new one. And an existing customer is 25 times, this different reports, but Deloitte had one that said an existing customer is 25 times more likely to buy than a new customer when presented with an offer. So these subscribers are a very, very active base that you want to make sure you take care of. So express add-ons, when a customer's logged in, they'll see a little widget that looks like this. And so I can add this to my next order as a subscription. And that's it. So what you just saw right here, it's been added. There's no checkout. Now, when I go into my order, I can see that I've got both products in there. So it makes it extremely easy for customers to add more products. third maximizer that we're super excited about is customer portal upsells. This is a crazy data point that will blow some of your minds. 92% of subscribers log into their customer portal. It's arguably one of the most valuable pieces of real estate on your website if you're a subscription business. But most brands, they just leave the customer portal exactly as it is, and it's hard to log into, and they don't take advantage of it. So customer portal upsells are offers that show in the customer portal, and they're actually smart based off of what a customer is subscribed to. So if a customer subscribed to coffee, it can offer the vanilla syrup. If they're subscribed to, I don't know, protein shake, it offers another supplement that goes with protein shake, because it's powered by the upsell logic of Bold Upsell. It can create these tailored offers directly in the customer portal. And so what this looks like in real time, a customer is in their customer portal. This is where they manage everything about their subscription, change it. Now they've got exclusive offers here that they can click and either add it ongoing forever or just to the next order. If they, with one click, you can see here in the video, they've now got this syrup added to the next order, and now it's there for, well, not forever. That one's as a one-time. And so, you've got this very engaged customer base as a subscriber. This is a super powerful tool and actually, a brand recently did a survey to their customers asking what they could do better. And 90% of their customers said they wished there was more opportunities for one-time add-ons. So you're actually doing your customers a favor by offering them products like that. They want more opportunities to buy more from you. The fourth one, am I on? I forget which one I'm on now. Yeah, Maximizer 4 is email upsells. This is the number one opened email on the internet is order confirmation emails. You order something, you want to open it to make sure that your address is right. It's the most opened email on the internet. And so what we've done is we've baked in what we call order maximizers. It's subscription email upsells in your upcoming order emails. So now each month when your subscription goes out, you can have an offer in there that says, hey, your subscription's about to go out in 3 days. We have a special offer. But they don't have to enter credit card information or anything. It adds it to the next upcoming order because they're a subscriber. So this is what that looks like. You create the offer in upsell. It sends an email. They click, yeah, I want to add that to my order. And I add this as a subscription or a one-time. I'm going to add this as a one-time. And now I'll see when I look at my upcoming orders, I've got it on the order. It's that easy. These work extremely well, and they're tailored based off of what the customer is subscribing to as well. So it's not like every subscriber has to get the exact same offer. The last one that's unique is convertible subscriptions is a big one. So this lets you switch products based off of, and actually this one is in V1 as well. It works a little bit different in V2, but this lets you sell one product the first month and then it switches to a different product the next month. And that's great if you want to do try before you buy, or it can actually be the exact same product. You just have a sample size or a heavily discounted one on the first month. And we call those convertible subscriptions. There's a number of other things in version 2 that I think you'll love. We really did prepaid subscriptions the right way. And we're super proud of how we do it. It does not create any duplicate products. And actually on the next slide, it gives a little bit more detail. The way we do it, which is actually unique to all other subscription apps, we hold the source. A lot of them created duplicate products, which has challenges because then it shows those duplicate products in product feeds like Google Shopping and Facebook Shops. But then the other way it's done is it doesn't let customers edit a prepaid subscription. So the way we do it is we store all the logic for it. And then each month, if a customer prepays for 6 months, each month we generate the order, but it's a regular subscription. So that means the customer can edit it. They can swap products. They can skip a month if they need. They can pause it. They can change address. It's like a regular subscription. So just because it's prepaid, it doesn't mean it's locked in. They can't change it. And then at the end of the prepaid period, this is the best part, it doesn't just stop. you can set the prepaid subscription to either let's say it's a 1-year prepaid subscription. You can set it to auto renew at a year, or auto renew month to month, or stop. You can set it to stop. But the biggest thing is prepaid subscriptions, they almost all by default just stop at the end of a prepaid one. And it's a shame because you lose the customer. So you can have different options, and then the customer can go in. So let's say you set up the prepaid subscription to auto renew for a year. The customer can go into their customer portal and they could change that to cancel at the end, but they have to choose to do it. It doesn't cancel by default. That's a really exciting thing about the new version 2. Passwordless login is a huge one. And so, you know, if a store has a Shopify account, it's great. They usually can log in pretty easy with ShopPass. But surprisingly, a lot of customers don't have an account, and there's a lot of friction there. And especially if you're sending email upsells and a customer doesn't know their password. So passwordless login is, it sends a magic link to a customer. You've probably all experienced this, so they don't have to remember password. This is great for subscription management, but also great for when you're sending those subscription email upsells. So there's a really interesting thing. I'll just say this too, that customers who manage a subscription have it's an incredibly high, I think it's two times higher retention if they manage a subscription, and a 6 times higher retention if they swap a product. And so you actually, what you're doing is you're training your customer that they're comfortable with the subscription. They know that they can modify it if they need. And so you actually want to encourage your customers to go into the customer portal, manage it, pause it if they're away a month. If they do anything in the subscription portal, their retention rate goes drastically up. So passwordless login is a big one in version 2. We have inventory forecasting, so you can predict how much inventory you need or project how much inventory you need. Customers can add recurring products. So this is different than the upsells. They can just add any product they want in the subscription portal. You can turn this offer on. You can control which products can be allowed, but they can go in and add any products to their subscription. And version 2, I don't know how many people this affects listening, but it is an API first app, which means everything every feature and function available in Bold subscriptions is also available through APIs. So if you wanted to build out a mobile app where a customer can modify subscriptions, like every single thing is available through APIs. A simple thing might be that you send an email to a customer and it says, hey, your subscription's shipping in 3 days. If you want to snooze it, click here, skip this month, click here, and you just push snooze 7 days, and that just sends an API call and add plus 7 days to the next shipment date. So it's fully has extremely robust APIs, and every single feature is available. So some of you, this is a critical factor. Some of you might not even know what an API is, but if you do want to build out any custom subscription functionality, this version is super strong for that. I think that's the last. Oh yes, and then most important is this one, because some of these features, they work with Bold Upsell. So we're giving Bold Upsell free for 3 months to every single person who, all you have to do is schedule your migration, and we're giving Bold Upsell completely free for 3 months. Bold Upsell in and of itself is a fantastic tool. It has AI offers. You can turn it on. We see stores increase their average order value 30 to 40% just by turning it on and just running smart offers. You can set offers on product pages, in the cart drawer, in the checkout, post-purchase, after checkout, like one-click upsells after checkout without entering credit card, upsells by email, and then all these subscription upsell in the customer portal, subscription upsell. So it's a fantastic app in and of itself, but it works really well with subscriptions, and we're giving it free to everyone for 3 months. All you have to do is schedule your migration, and then we'll tag your store, and then when you install it, it'll be free for 3 months. So make sure you schedule it before July 31st. Okay, that's the end of my section. Chasen is going to go through a little bit of the actual details of what a subscription looks like.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Jay. So yeah, what does that migration look like? So just before we begin, it is never too early to start your migration. While the actual data movement can happen very quickly, it can sometimes take some time to ensure you're comfortable with your new application prior to that transition. It's best not to wait until the deadline to schedule your migration, as there are lots of merchants in the same position. So we measure a successful migration not only on the precise importing of your active subscription data, but also on how prepared you as a store owner are to succeed after the migration is complete. Through thousands of migrations and millions of subscriptions, our team has built what we feel to be the optimal transition strategy. We have broken that migration process down into two main parts, and I'll go through the next two slides and we'll go over those main sections. So the first being what you, the merchant, has to be involved with. So with your new application, the main thing you're going to have to worry about is getting that ready to launch. The second being the actual movement of your active subscription data from Bold Subscriptions V1 and the RO checkout to Bold Subscriptions on Shopify Checkout. We have discovered the first portion of this process, getting your new Bold Subscriptions on Shopify Checkout application ready to launch, has been most successful through a collaborative approach between you, the store, and our migrations team. While it is entirely possible for our team to complete the application setup on your behalf, we have discovered this leaves our merchants set up to fail once the migration is complete. Our goals will always be to ensure that you and your store are set up for success. As we are transitioning to a new application and a new checkout, we want to ensure that our merchants have the tools and knowledge they need to utilize this new application and new checkout to its fullest. This breaks down into 6 quick steps. So installing the Bold Subscription on Shopify application from the Shopify App Store, activating the Bold Subscriptions for Shopify Checkout. This is getting the application ready to launch and live on your theme. Create your subscription groups, some payment gateway considerations, test your new application, and then finally, on the morning of the scheduled migration, publish your new theme with Bold Subscriptions on Shopify Checkout installed. That does sound like a lot. Our migrations team will be working right alongside you to ensure you have all the support you require to make this setup as seamless and easy as possible. We're here to help complete steps. We're here to make code changes for you. Our team is ready to help you along this entire process. Our team has also created help desk articles and video walkthroughs to enable you to fully utilize and become familiar with your new application. We're happy to complete, as I said before, liquid code changes for this new application and help fully test the functionality of the Bold Subscriptions on Shopify Checkout application. Once you're happy with your new app and you're ready to launch, our migration team will fully take over. So what we do, we will work with you to schedule your migration on a date that works best for you and your business and allows a member of our team to be able to fully support any questions you may have, not only during the transition, but also once the migration is complete. On the day of the migration, we'll request your new theme with the newly tested Bold Subscriptions on Shopify Checkout application be published to your storefront and for final confirmation that we are ready to begin. This ensures that your store has absolutely zero downtime, zero risk, and enables all new subscriptions to flow through your new application and the Shopify Checkout automatically. While your orders continue to process, we will transfer the active subscription data from Bold Subscriptions V1 in the background. This allows you to focus on running your business. Our migrations team has thousands of migrations worth of experience and has dialed down this process to be able to complete entire transfers in very little time. Our team will validate your store is ready for a migration. This includes checking app setup, payment gateway information, and that Bold Subscriptions is live on your storefront. Prepare our internal migration tools for your specific store. Export all active subscription data from your Bold Subscriptions V1 application. Validate that exported data to ensure accuracy and security. Prepare data for import into Bold Subscriptions on Shopify Checkout. We always like to run test files to ensure that all of that data is populating as expected. Confirm newly imported test active subscriptions are working correctly with payment information and all the recurring order data. And then we will run the remaining import files. We continue to check that those imports are running successfully. We'll download any potential error logs to ensure all the issues have been corrected and all active subscriptions have been imported. We'll confirm every newly imported active subscription is functioning correctly with that payment information and that recurring order data again. And then once we have confirmed all of that import has been successful, we'll pause all orders in your Bold Subscriptions V1 application to ensure recurring orders do not process twice moving forward. This process can take as little as 30 minutes depending on the size of your data files. From here, we will reach back out and let you know the migration has been a success, all the while not requiring any input from your customers and your active subscriptions. Even though the migration is complete and our team does not stop supporting you and your new Bold subscriptions on Shopify Checkout application. We're always available to answer any questions you may have and provide any and all support you may require. So some migration considerations. Our support team is ready to help every step of the way. However, it is great to have an understanding of your own personal migration timeline, as well as any current customizations you have built for your subscription business. We have developer documents and we have teams prepared to support in this transition. And we are happy to schedule your migration on the date that works best for you. So right now, what are your migration next steps? Feel free to scan the QR code on your screen now to submit your migration requests, and a member of our team will reach out to you shortly. Thank you.
There has been a ton of questions. I should have mentioned this at the beginning too. We're going to try to answer as many as we can. Thank you so much to everyone who's putting them in the chat. And if we aren't able to, we'll summarize and send an email out, but I think we can get to most of them. I'm going to pull up 1 second here. I'm going to go through kind of in chronologically and try to get to as many of these as we can. And so the first question, let's go right into it here. Does filling out the Bold request form force me to migrate on a certain date? I can just go ahead and answer this one quick. I know, Jason, it's your area, but no, it doesn't. The migration request form just starts the process. So we know you're interested in migrating, and actually you should fill it out as soon as possible, because there's we have a very strong migrations team. We do it all in-house. We can easily migrate everyone, but there's realistically probably going to be a lot of people that put it off until the last week, and it's hard to say if everyone will be able to get migrated if they put it off to last week. There's no issue at all right now. So the sooner the better is what I would say on that. So at least we get yours scheduled. It doesn't mean it's going to happen today. If you fill out that form, it might be scheduled for 3 weeks from now, or whatever works for you is important too. So how long does it take to migrate? Jason, do you want to speak to this one?
Yeah, absolutely. Some migrations can easily be completed in less than a day. Once they are scheduled with our team, as Jay, you mentioned earlier, they can be completed in less than an hour and a half. With that said, others can take a little bit longer, up to a few months. It all depends on the complexity of your store setup and if there are any customizations there. To experience our white glove service, feel free to submit a migration request, and a member of our team will reach out. And then from there, we can assess your specific needs and work with you to build a timeline that works for you and your business.
Okay. What happens if I don't migrate by the deadline? Chanel, maybe from the Shopify side?
Yeah, thanks, Jay. So if you choose to not migrate after October 18th of this year, 2024, your store will no longer be able to accept or process any subscription orders on the V1 Bold subscription app. We understand that subscriptions are super important for your business, and we want to help you migrate seamlessly as possible before this date, so you don't experience any interruption on your business.
Thank you. One person said, how much does it cost to migrate? I think we said this in the thing. Maybe this came in earlier. It's free. So it's and I should say we're very proud that it's free. We do all our migration in-house. A lot of subscription apps outsource it to partners. And I've seen it. I've actually seen it as much as $30,000. I think around 5,000 is about an average. I see people post Actually, I saw a post last week on LinkedIn. Need to migrate to Shopify Checkout by the deadline. We'll migrate you for $4,997 was the exact amount. We don't charge for it. You know, our hope is that you stay a bold customer, and we want to try and support you. And so we do it. There is no cost. Now, if you have some advanced configuration on your widget and the front end, there might be some costs on your end with your agency or your developer just to make sure that's all connected, but the actual subscription migration is free. How will migration impact my customers? I guess at a high level, so the first and most important thing to understand on this is there's zero interruption to subscription recurrences. So a customer will get a subscription 1 month, and then next month they'll get the exact subscription. It's just going to be in the new method, I guess you want to say, like, but they don't have to re-enter credit card information or recreate accounts. They actually don't even know that it's happening. The only thing that would tip them off is when they log into their account, the customer portal looks a little bit different. But other than that, your customers actually would not know. There's no interruption at all. What payment gateways can I use? Do I have to migrate to Shopify Payments in order to move to both subscriptions on Shopify Checkout? Chanel, you want to take this one?
Yeah, so using Shopify Payments is not a requirement for migrating to both subscriptions for Shopify Checkout app. The following payment gateways are eligible for subscriptions on Shopify. So obviously Shopify Payments, PayPal Express, Authorize.net. So I saw below there's a question around using gateways for CBD stores. Authorize.net is your best bet here. And Stripe, it does require you to get an exception to use. But if you are using Stripe and want to stay on Stripe, reach out. It should not be a reason to not migrate. You can use Stripe if you need to.
Okay, and are there any exceptions that will allow merchants to stay on V1?
Yeah, so we're not making any exceptions. And this is why it's so important to talk to us or to Bold as soon as possible if there's customizations that you need solutioning. This way we can help figure out the best approach and allow you to migrate in time before the deadline.
Do we have a solution for Build-A-Box? This one comes up. This, for those who don't know, Build-A-Box is a box building subscription functionality in version 1. We do have a solution, and actually there's a demo of it on, if you go to subscriptions. What is the actual URL? I think it's just subscriptions.bolddemos.com. Actually, I'll put it in the chat right now. For those watching later, the link will be on the page, but on the top, click on Build-A-Box and you'll see an example of one there. It's actually done with a partner called Easy Bundles. And there's a lot of different ways it can be configured. Now, it's not exactly the same as what the Build-A-Box module was on V1. It's very close, but it's not identical. So what we would suggest is if you use Build-A-Box, first of all, have a look at that example and you'll see how you step through and you pick your products and you kind of build your solution. If it looks like it'll work, reach out to our support team. We have a video on how it's created. You can see exactly the details and you can kind of assess if it will work. And if it does, great. If it doesn't, we have had multiple brands build out completely custom Build-A-Box solutions on V2, but it's done through the APIs. So it does require a little bit of development work, but you can actually build any Build-A-Box experience you want, but it's not out of the box like it was in V1. So now, is this coming? Yes, probably, but it just won't be by October 18th. So just to be fully transparent on that, there won't be the exact Build-A-Box solution by October 18th. So there's what we have on the website as the demo. And we can go into more detail on that with a support person if I don't want to spend too much time on this call, but if it looks like it'll work, great. If not, we can talk about what we might have to do with a partner to build out that front end experience of that builder. Okay, next question. What if our store is not allowed to use Shopify Checkout? We have to use a third-party transaction checkout. Chanel, do you want to take this one?
Sure. So I would need more information in this case. I would recommend you reach out to your team at Bold and to us so that we can understand why that is the case. It's hard for me to pronounce on this information.
Yeah, I think ideally the gateways supported. I know, yeah, they should be able to support products, but if there is, I guess there's regional, like there's certain countries, maybe certain ones don't work, but yeah, reach out and yeah, I don't know exactly. I guess that's on Shopify, so we'll have to see what they can do.
Yeah, but I'll say reach out as soon as possible so that we can look into it as soon as possible for you.
Okay. And just so people know too, we can migrate between gateways. So if the person asking this is thinking, oh, well, I'm using Chase payments and I can't, and Chase payments is an option, we can migrate Chase payments into authorize.net like that, or into Shopify payments. So it doesn't, just because the gateway you're using isn't one, that doesn't mean you can't migrate. You can migrate between gateways. So I don't know if that was why that one got asked, but just wanted to make sure. What do my current recurring customers need to do after the conversion? So I guess after the migration. Jason, is there anything, what do you want to take that one?
Yeah, absolutely. Your current customers don't have to do anything. There's nothing they have to do on their side at all.
One thing, if there's one, no, it's not even actually. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I was thinking of a nuance. If they're migrating from Stripe into Shopify payments, is there something they need to do with, what is it, when a credit card fails?
So if there was a failed credit card, it would be the exact same as if there was a failed credit card in a normal recurring order. The card would still either need to be updated or that would have to be fixed on that side. But there isn't anything specific that they would do because of the migration.
Gotcha. Okay. Can you explain how you essentially help do this for me, as I am not technical at all?
Absolutely. I hope the presentation kind of went over this a little bit, but I'm always happy to answer. We do have a team ready to help out every step of the way. When you create a migration request, we will send kind of an outline and a list of the steps, along with help desk articles and videos that kind of help that process along. But we're also here to help every step of the way as well. So any support you need, we're here to help with.
Will the operation coding of my website checkout pages need to change? My original developer that set that all up has retired, and I may not have access to him any longer. So if you did some heavy customization, well, first of all, checkout pages, it's going to be using Shopify's checkout. So I assume like most people are right now on V1 are using subscription checkout for subscriptions and then Shopify checkout for one-time orders. That's kind of the way it's like. A one-time order goes to Shopify checkout and a subscription order goes to our bold checkout that with V1. Now what's going to happen is just all orders are going to go to the Shopify checkout. So you're probably using a Shopify checkout already if you sell anything one time. If you don't sell anything one time, then not. But it's not a different checkout. It's just that same Shopify checkout. So you shouldn't have to really do any customization there at all. It already exists. As far as the product pages, it's a slightly maybe different widget. It can be styled any way you want, but you don't have to do any coding. So like you could install the new version. It uses app blocks you can put the widget anywhere on the product page, and you don't have to do any coding at all. The only reason you might have to contact your developer that retired or a new developer is if you built a very custom subscription experience. But if you kind of used the default subscription experience in V1, you could just use the default one in V2. So okay, next question. Are CBD stores allowed on the new platform? We have been stuck on V1 since the beginning due to not being allowed to upgrade.
Yes. So I will say, sorry, I got lost in the questions. There we go. Same as earlier, using auth.net will probably be your best path forward. So do reach out and we will see if it's a good fit.
Yeah, and we have lots of brands selling CBD related products on Shopify with Bold subscriptions using authorized.net. So it definitely does work. The next question, why are we so limited in the processors we will be able to use? Shopify won't give me an account and neither will Stripe after 7 years of trying, and authorized.net won't give me an account. So where does this leave my store?
I'm sorry you're running through so many issues. I would be curious to hear about why Shopify, Stripe, and auth.net are refusing to give you accounts. If there's concerns there, do reach out. Those are the limitations around the gateways that we do support. Hopefully we can find one that works. But there seems to be more here than only the gateways that are supported.
Yeah, I would be curious on the why auth wouldn't as well. So definitely reach out and we'll see what we can do or support or help in any way. The next question, with the new Bold version, will it be able to auto update shipping rates and method? Yeah, Jason, can you help me on this? The exact way it works is, I think like the answer is yes. So one key thing that's different is all the shipping is now handled in Shopify. So with version 1, because it was a Bold checkout, like taxes, shipping, payments, that was all handled on Bold side. Now it uses like taxes, shipping, everything is configured in Shopify. So will it auto update shipping rates? I'm assuming this meaning like if a shipping rate changes, does it change on the next upcoming subscription order?
So it won't automatically update. All of those subscription rates, those prices are grandfathered in with the creation of that subscription contract. And
Okay.
any changes that are made in Shopify, they will not automatically update as that subscription is created to honor that original contract. So prices will not automatically change. We do have tools for helping to bulk update certain things. So that might be something that we can look at in application, but they will not automatically do it.
Gotcha. And that's the same with prices, product prices. So if you change the price on a product, it stays the same on all existing products, but we do have bulk price updates, bulk product swaps. So if you need to change the price of a product that's on 1,000 subscriptions, you can do that and just notify customers. So it doesn't automatically do it, but it can be done if needed. So next question, where can we find detailed instructions for our tech team? And will you share a tech team version instruction video so my team doesn't have to sit through the entire webinar? I apologize if it wasn't technical enough, but yes, no, for sure. And we, Jason, what's the best way? Like if someone says, hey, I've got my tech team ready, they're ready to go. What details do they need to get started, or where should they go?
The first thing they should do, just submit that migration request. Our team is ready to jump on those and kind of help provide any support that you need, any specific support depending on your store. The first thing we do is just take a quick look at your store, see if there's any customizations we need to work into that conversation, and then we can provide documentation and support based on what your needs are.
Yeah, I saw this one actually come up a couple times. Will paused and not active subscribers be migrated? So will they be migrated in a paused state?
So if there are paused or inactive, we consider a paused subscription still an active subscription. Those will be migrated over exactly how they are in your V1 application. In regards to customers that have an inactive subscription, by default, we don't migrate those over just because that customer did make a choice to cancel that subscription. With that said, though, if there is a specific use case that you require that inactive customer data, we can move that over from our end. It would just have to be something that is brought up in that specific migration request. But that is something that we can do, yes.
So by default, any active and paused, which pause is active, are moved, canceled ones, just let our migrations team know.
Exactly.
Next question. I see in V2, there is no delete product management like V1 and only swaps. If we don't have products to swap on a one-to-one basis, how do we manage this without manually going through all our subscriptions individually? I'm assuming this meaning if a product is no longer available, to remove it from all subscriptions. Don't have products to swap, right? Because they can't use product swap. I think this is something we can just manually do at this point for merchants. Jason, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but if so, the scenario is a product is no longer available, and they've got like 1,000 subscribers. There's no comparable product to use our product swap feature to swap in a new product. So they just need to remove it from subscriptions. So this is probably something we just need to do for you. There isn't a feature in the app, but if you message our team, we can just run a script and remove them all. Is that accurate, Jason?
Yeah, we can absolutely help support those.
Okay. So if that's to the person that asked that one, let us know and we can do it. We probably will have a feature in the future that you can do that in the app, but right now we would just do it for you. You can swap the products though in the app without having to contact us. The next question, we use multiple shipping options. Storefront pickups are free as well as local deliveries and UPS shipping. If customers update their subscription and it defaults to the cheapest shipping method every time, our delivery and shipping customers will always get switched to picking up in their store. Are there any workarounds?
Yes, we fixed this.
Is this as of recently?
Yes, as of a couple weeks ago, you can now select different delivery options that you want on the Shopify checkout. So all of your different delivery options will show up, not just the cheapest one.
On the initial order. Now,
yes.
what if
for ongoing one, then on the customer accounts, and we would need to look into like what's possible that Bold has built, but on the API side, they can set up for any next orders to not default to this one. So everything should be possible. We can look into if Bold needs to do adjustments, but they shouldn't be blocked.
Well, and I think, but the important thing is that, like, to this person's concern, it wouldn't automatically switch to the free pickup one. Like by default, the shipping is this locked in, so they can pick which shipping they want on the initial one. But then if a customer updates it, I think their concern is it going to just, because there was a feature in V1 that it could automatically pick the cheapest shipping every month. And so the concern is that their cheapest shipping is the free pickup one. So it won't, to answer that question, it won't pick that up if it'll stay in as it is right now.
Yeah, maybe we can take this offline, but there's ways to set it up so that it persists over time. So we can talk about it.
Sure. Okay. Next question. Shopify recently introduced its own integrated subscription app. How should subscription operators think about your new subs apps versus other subscription apps?
Yeah, so the subscription first-party app for Shopify really looks at offering basic functionalities. It's a way to get started into subscriptions. I think most people using Bold have more advanced needs and are used to a lot more customization and functionality. You can install the app for free and test it out and see for yourself. I would not recommend the first party app for merchants who have more advanced subscription needs. And so we really look at our partners like Bold to offer those more advanced functionalities.
Yeah, it's good if you're very, very basic, but if you want to have any type of like multiple frequencies, you can't do prepaid, you can't do convertible, none of the subscription upsells. But if it's very, very basic, I would say, yeah. What if your store is tiny and doesn't have a tech team? Can a regular person with some limited knowledge get through this? Jason, do they need to have a tech team?
Not at all. We can, in these situations, we can be your tech team as well. We're here to help every single step of the way.
Yeah, and just to make you feel a bit better, that's probably 70% of our merchants don't have a tech team. So you're not unique. So don't worry about that. Is there a price increase? Yes and no, I guess. So the V1 of Bold subscriptions went from as much as $399 a month, and the very, very basic plan was $19 a month. V2 is just flat $49, and that includes everything. That is changing in the future, so it's probably good to get locked in on that pricing now, but it's $49 a month flat, and that includes every single feature, full access to APIs. So if you're on the cheapest one in V1, it's a little bit more, but you get access to everything, versus in V1, if you're on the cheapest plan, you don't get access to a lot of the features. So V2, you'll have access to everything. Will we be able to update pricing on a subscription? Yes, absolutely. There is a feature called bulk pricing updates. I'm assuming that's what this means. A customer subscribes to something for $20 a month, and now because of inflation or price changes, you need to increase that to $24 a month. You can go in, pick which product, and you can increase it. It's actually kind of neat how you do it. You can increase it to a fixed price, or you can bump up everyone $2 or 5%. So like people can be at different levels. Like one person might have subscribed when it was $12, then another person subscribed when it was 15. And so you can just raise everyone $3, or you can move them all to a set price. And yes, so that's the bulk pricing update. Next question. We have a highly customized from scratch built theme. Will Bold and Shopify supply direct and customized guidance in real time, or will we be sent documentation and told to follow the steps? We need some hand holding. What's the best approach for this person, Jason, who has a very customized theme?
So we have built out those instructions and those developer docs that your team can use. If your technical team or your agency, if you do need additional support, we have API and technical specialists that can work to answer any specific questions you have. When you do submit your migration request, if you could give us a little detail about that custom build, just in your notes, we can follow up with your specific needs. We can schedule a migration form submission. It doesn't lock you into that migration. So as soon as we do get that ticket, we can pull in the members of our team that are best suited to support it.
Perfect. I'm going to, okay, we're at time. I'm making sure, I think we've captured every single question here. Just making sure here, 1 second. Okay, so can Britt or Susie or one of the other panelists just make sure that we have all captured? So what we're going to do, there's probably about, well, at least 20 more questions. So we probably could go for another hour on the questions, but we're at time. And so what we're going to do is we're going to capture all the questions, and everybody who attended plus everyone who wasn't able to attend but registered is going to get a replay of the webinar, and we'll put a common questions and FAQs, and we'll include questions from here. A lot of them are duplicates and similar ones. We'll try to combine them all together to make sure. But of course, if you still have any questions after, reach out. Like we're here all day to help and support. The most important thing, though, I said earlier, is to make sure you get the migration scheduled. And if something happens and you can't migrate, it doesn't, like, you could reschedule or change, but at least get in the queue, because the queue is getting full. So the sooner you get in, the better. And if you get in by July 31st, you're getting upsell free for 3 months as well too. So we'll leave it at that for now. Thank you so much, everyone attending. We really want to help this be as successful as possible. I know there's a lot of concerns and questions. We're here to help. We're here to support, and our goal is the same as yours, to make this as smooth as possible. So let's work on this together. Reach out if you have any questions. we'll send this out as an email with as much detail on all those questions as possible. And thank you everyone for watching, and thanks for being a bold customer. And we hope that we get you all migrated to V2 and are very successful. All right.